Okay, guys, watching the A-Team. We're out here in beautiful Houston on this wonderfully lit field. Look at this, man. You can't pay for this kind of lighting. But Chiefs just pulled out the first playoff win in 22 years, snapping that NFL record 8-game playoff losing streak with a convincing 30-0 win over the Houston Texans. First shutout in the playoffs in team history, too. So they not only ended all those years of playoff heartbreak, they did it in style. As always, the A-Team is out here doing our thing, breaking this thing down. I know you're going to check out kansascity.com to see what we wrote, but we're going to discuss those stories right here, right now. And first off, I want to lead off with Blair Kirkhoff. Blair, you handled a couple sidebars for us today. First of all, when people bring up the Houston Texans, they're talking about J.J. Watt. How did the Chiefs handle him today?
Well, and they should talk about J.J. Watt. He didn't dominate the first game that they played in the season, but he had a good game. He had a couple sacks and 6 tackles for loss. You look at his stat sheet from today, a lot of zeros, 1 assisted tackle. That was J.J. Watt's day. Left the game with 10 minutes to go, walked off the field, he'd injured his groin. Chiefs, I thought, did a great job on him. It was a team effort. I saw Spencer Ware block him. I saw Jeremy Maclin. I saw Travis Kelce. But the one guy I saw most often blocking him was Eric Fisher. I thought Big Fish had a good game against Travis Kelce. And you know he had a good game because this stadium was booing him loudly when he rode him down on a block in the fourth quarter. Watt had already injured his groin, and Watt later called it. He thought it was a dirty play. But Fisher seemed to he loved the boos, and they booed him lustily. And I thought it was great moment for the Chiefs, the way they handled Watt today. And that was just one of many things that happened. But I think if we can skip forward to our grown-ass,
we can skip
man of the game, mine would be Eric Fisher.
And I would agree. And one of the coolest things about what Fisher did today, kind of the reborn, more nasty Eric Fisher. When they were booing him up on that screen, he was like, let's go.
Bring it. He said, bring it.
He wanted.
But let's say real quick, it was another offensive line had another adjustment today. And Ja Reed had to come in and play right guard.
And without Mitch also.
Yeah, and Zach Gordon had to play center. So once again, the offensive line proves how versatile, how flexible it is. I thought offensive line had a good game.
One quick question, just to clarify this, I did not think Fisher cheap shot at Watt. I thought it didn't look good, but I don't think that's what was going on there.
No.
I feel like Watt was going down and he was into the
rode him down. He just rode him down.
And,
I'm sorry, but you got to remember, guys like Watt is all-day sucker. That means they play every play hard. He gets up, maybe he goes and makes the play. That was a good, hard football play.
I thought so.
So was Albert Wilson's block down here that took away a long run. That's another story entirely. Vahe, you're kind of on a high roll right now. Tell us a little bit about the big story, the biggest concern of the game, the injury to Jeremy Maclin.
Really interesting, too, on a couple levels, because the point at which Jeremy Maclin got hurt and was out of the game is really a pretty crucial point in the game. I mean, it's a 13-0 lead for the Chiefs, but that we know not to be safe in the playoffs. And they're 3rd and 3, and you got the air sucked out of you a little bit. J.J. Watt goes down on the same play. Just kind of an interesting sort of moment of truth. Next play is, I think, an 18-yard pass to Kelce or 16 yards. 4 plays later, they're in the end zone. But to me, the most interesting part about being in the end zone is how they got there. Pass to Chris Conley, running a play designed for Jeremy Maclin that Chris Conley and Alex Smith have never run together before. So, does that mean Chris Conley can be Jeremy Maclin? No. But does it mean they can possibly find a way to make up for it if they don't have him? It gives you more than a shred of hope. It makes you realize, look, they can find ways to make up for things. Everybody has to step up. Don't want to lose Jeremy Maclin. Does not increase your chances of winning. But the thing I tried to write about a little bit was sort of thought that when they lost Jamal Charles earlier, too.
Yeah, let's not underestimate what Jeremy Maclin means to this team. Not only a really skilled receiver, but a very competitive guy that gives them a swagger.
And they don't lose that if he doesn't play.
Right.
By the way, I mean, yeah, it's more visible and vibrant if he's actually in there. But I think that's been, kind of ingrained in this team from him. So.
And I think the fact that they came back after that and still had the scoring drive instead of caving or crumbling, that's probably a pretty good indication of that. And Sam, as always, well, not as always, but this time you really took kind of a big picture approach at what this win meant in the grand scheme of things. To give our viewers an idea what your column was about, what did this thing mean in the grand scheme of things?
22 years is a really long time, and I think that it means a lot more to fans than it does to the players. And I think that one thing that sometimes is easy to forget is that fans digest these things that connect fans and athletes. Fans look at entirely different, right, than the athletes do. But I thought it was interesting. I went into that locker room expecting those guys to, for the most part, say, we weren't thinking about 22 years, don't care about 22 years, we're just trying to win a game, we'll try to win another game next week. And maybe it's the guys that I chose. I tried to, a couple of the more thoughtful guys, at least in my opinion. Tamba first, he said, yes, that does matter. And some of that, this is Tamba's 10th season.
Yeah.
So he's part of that 22 years in a way that not too many guys are as much as him. So I think that it continues this incredible civic winning streak in Kansas City.
Wow.
And really, I think it's in some ways symbolic, the way that they were able to turn around their season is this remarkable, relentless focus week to week. Because I think you guys agree, the whole, now 11 wins, right, in a row,
Yeah.
they've never seemed impressed with themselves. You know what I mean? Like they could have put a flag in the ground when they saved it from being a potential 3-13 thing. They could have been okay with 8-8. They could have been okay with the playoff appearance, but they never have. They've had this focus about, that's not important. What's important is what we do next, and that's for the most part what I saw in that locker room too, which I think is there's other reasons too, namely their talent and other things. But that's one reason I think they can win next week.
Absolutely. And I guess I'll say, look, my game story is about you guys, right? 22 years since the last playoff win, 8 playoff losses since then. Some of them just brutal. I mean, just bad, just gut-wrenching, just brutal losses.
Tell them more.
What I'll say is this. When the final seconds ticked off the clock, there were all kinds of Chiefs fans that came down to the seats below, but right behind the Chiefs bench. And a lot of players, before they left the field, went over there and made sure they went over there and thanked you guys and all that. So, listen, I think sometimes the whole fan stuff part of it gets overblown because, look, football's a business just like any sport. But at the end of the day, you guys are the whole reason that the sport exists because people pay for it. And look, they did it for themselves too. Like, let's not get it. Look, a lot of people save jobs and all that stuff, but you guys should enjoy this. It's okay to feel good about it. And look, whether it's New England or Pittsburgh next week, this team's on a roll. And guess what? In January, hot teams win. So for the rest of the A-team, Vahe, Blair, Sam, I'm Therese Paylor. We'll be in New England or we'll be in Denver, but we're going to be there, and that's what matters. We'll find out here soon. But thanks for watching. Remember to go to kansascity.com and find out all your Chiefs news. Have a good one, guys. See you.